All right, everyone, 4:31. Good afternoon. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. Let's talk a little bit of the rain that's out there, and it's just a little bit for today. We've got some rain up there on the I-75 corridor in Hernando County, or I should say Pasco County. Most of it, though, will stay just south of Hernando County, and it'll kind of move off towards Dade City and the Zephyr Hills area. So we'll kind of start up there. We're not expecting a lot of rain out there for today, but we are seeing a few showers kind of slowly drift their way inland. And then some on the East Coast will try and come back, but I think that's more of a Polk County issue, and we'll talk about that. These are no severe weather. In fact, the thunderstorm activity is actually falling apart. You look further down into Hillsborough, and you can see they're just in the Plant City. This is just southeast of town. We've got a little bit of a storm drifting off towards the north and the east. And then as you get down into Manatee and Sarasota County, we had a couple storms moving by here as well, but you can see they are pretty far out there and not much to them. So bigger picture, kind of zoom out, you can see the showers and storms are over there on the East Coast. Most of it will stay that way as we go through the afternoon hours, or the rest of the afternoon hours. Frontal boundary still stalled out down to our south. Yesterday they had it here, and then last night they had it at Okeechobee. Now they got it back here. So bottom line is we're not getting a push of any kind of cooler or drier air. That's really just about it. In fact, this is going to start to go to the north. You see this end over here? That's a warm front. And in our neck of the woods, warm fronts are going this way now, right? And this would be coming this way. Or actually, it's not really going anywhere because it's stalled. But what's going to happen is this line is going to start to drift a little bit back further towards the north. All right, and we didn't really get a good taste of cool, dry air. At least not here in the Tampa area. So it's not a big change for us, but it will keep us with some afternoon shower and thunderstorm chances, not the major. You can see the dew points have come back up. We were in the lower, well, I should say lower 70s, but mid-morning yesterday, we were in the mid-60s. We actually had a pretty brief period mid-morning through early afternoon of some really nice air, and then the dew points sprang back up, but now they're even higher today than what they were at any point yesterday, so, or at least once the sun came up. So yeah, we are starting to see that typical mid and even some upper 70s for dew points, and even Tallahassee, which was in the 50s for dew points, now looking like they are in the mid 60s, so things are coming back up. There's a live look at Armature Works. We do have a lot of sunshine. We're looking off towards the west-northwest here, and this is basically the sea breeze. So you see it's clear here and some clouds here. Those clouds are going to drift further back inland. 91 degrees right now in Tampa. Makes it feel like 100 when you factor in that dew point of 74 degrees. So yeah, it's a little muggy out there. 91's average for this time of the year. So, this is nothing crazy that we're seeing right now. Forecast models. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the current forecast. We're going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to do tropics, and then we'll kind of recap later in the end of the show. But we have to talk about Labor Day weekend. And there's some good news because I think it does look better. So before we get there, let's just do the rest of tonight. That's what's happening for those showers and storms trying to come back. You can see especially eastern Polk County here and up into Orlando. All right, that's where we have the best chance for rain, and it does include Highlands County. I think this is overdone, but the idea that we get a few showers and storms coming back towards the coast and getting into Polk County and Highlands is good. And then do we get some all the way out here to almost Sun City Center? I mean, Baird, Bartow. Yeah, we have a chance, and that would be about 10 o'clock tonight. Whoops, sorry about that. But I think after that, everything falls apart. Now, tomorrow morning, we are starting with sunshine and an onshore flow. Not a lot, just a little bit. And you can see a few pop-up showers and storms right around lunchtime to about 1:30. This is about 20 after 1, and you can see just a few pop-up showers. That's kind of what we saw today, right? It's not a lot. Now, as we go to the afternoon hours, I'm going to go back through that again. I want you to see this. Look at eastern Hillsborough County at 3 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock. That's around 4 o'clock. And then you see everything moves inland. So that time period, we'll actually have a few more showers and storms around tomorrow than what we did today. But overall, it's still not a rain out. It's nothing like that, okay? Now, let's go out to tomorrow, Saturday morning, all right? Let's get up to around sunrise, right about there. Looking nice to get started. Let's go into the afternoon. This is around lunchtime. We get our pop-up showers and storms. No big deal, right? And then pop-up showers and storms right there. And then we get into the afternoon hours. And let me see. I'm going to do a little bit more here. Here we go. So that's around 1 to 3 o'clock on Labor Day weekend, Saturday. All right, that's this Saturday. Couple things. Notice where I-4 is, Tampa to Lakeland, okay? Look where most of the rain is. Along and south of I-4. All right, so the further north you go, I think we'll be a little bit on the drier side. That's Saturday. This is Saturday evening, right around sunset. And you can see most of the rain is falling apart. Manatee County, Sarasota County, it does look a little bit more cloudy and a better chance for rain for you on Saturday. Tampa's about 30 to 40%, probably good 40%, okay, for Saturday. Then Sunday, and I'm going to see how far out. This is only going to go out till about 8 o'clock in the morning. Sunday is when things are going to change a little bit, and then we'll talk about that coming up. So forecast for tonight, just a few showers left over, not a whole lot. Temperatures in the low 90s now, so we'll be coming down through the 80s and into the mid 70s. So tomorrow morning, starting in the mid 70s, tomorrow I think looks a lot like today. Okay, we'll see the storms start along the coast around lunchtime and then work their way inland as we move through the afternoon. And we'll get back to the low 90s. Not a whole lot, but about 90, 91 degrees for a daytime high. Boating, southeast winds to the west tomorrow, 5 knots. Great boating. I would suggest you go, if you have the time, make a 4-day weekend out of it, right? Because Sunday does look soggy. Monday's looking a little bit better, but you are going to lose a day, or at least you could on Sunday, right? 88 degrees in the water. Now let's talk Labor Day weekend. So again, we went 40% chance on Saturday. Just showed you what that looks like. Sunday is still at a good 70% chance. And then now the model's flip-flopping. And remember, on Monday, the model said rainy on Sunday, drier air, at least less rain trying to push in on Monday. Okay? And then yesterday and Wednesday and Tuesday, it was basically, oh, it looks like it's going to be pretty rainy, not only Sunday, but also on Monday. Well, now Labor Day, Monday, is starting to look a little bit on the drier side. So look at the expected rain. Now, this is just a model, right? This is from the European model. So I am having to pick, okay? And I kind of believe in this one a little bit more. But you see here, this is Saturday, what I showed you on our in-house model, all right? Look at Sunday. And this is mid-morning to the afternoon. Everything starts along the coast and pushes inland. Now, look at Monday. That's a big difference because Monday was looking like this yesterday, okay? So it does look like we'll have a few showers around, but if you've got outdoor plans, I mean, that's a whole lot better than what we were looking at. And then Tuesday, of course, when we go back to work and school, things look a whole lot better. Here's the forecast model. This is Saturday afternoon. Now, I know that looks rainy, but there's Tampa, Sarasota's right here. You can see, again, I-4 is right here, so the best chance for rain is along and south of there and eventually inland by the afternoon hours. And here we go with Sunday. Frontal boundary sitting right in here. Onshore flow, that's in the morning. Watch the afternoon. There it is. All right, that is what we saw last weekend. That's why I think it's a pretty decent chance. Now, this is Monday morning, Labor Day, and now you've got a lot of the moisture down south. So we're actually starting to dry it out a little bit. And then as we go to the afternoon hours, yeah, there's some rain around, but more of it will be over on the East Coast, and we have a little bit of some dry air trying to work its way in. We're not going to get a bunch of that, all right? This is Monday into Tuesday, beyond Labor Day. But look what happens next week, that big bunch of dry air that's coming in across the United States. It looks like that would try and get towards Florida by next weekend. In fact, later in the weekend, that's Sunday. But most of the modeling that I've seen doesn't get this to Tampa. Stops it right up here, maybe even to Jacksonville if they're lucky. Tallahassee, a better shot. But it probably doesn't get much further south than this. So, you know, worth watching. But just keep in mind, it's really tough this time of the year to get a cold front to bring that kind of cool air all the way down. And yeah, look at this. Our friends up north, this is the 3rd through the 7th of September, the first week. And man, oh man, they're looking good. Yeah, they're looking good right now. Forget about next week. But they're going to have a secondary shot. That's what I was just showing you, that dry air that I don't think makes it all the way in here. And that's why they're going to have the nice weather. For us, that's the story, guys. That is how the peninsula of Florida goes this time of the year. And in fact, really through most of September, too. I mean, this is early for us to be having this conversation. Does the front get here? Does it not? We don't normally have that conversation until middle of September. So we're 2-3 weeks ahead of time as far as that's concerned. And that's another reason why I say it's just hard to do. So we'll see if it happens. This is suggesting that it doesn't. All right, tropics, we're going to talk about that coming up in just a little bit. Your 7-day forecast shows temperatures cooling a little bit, especially on Sunday. We'll be in the upper 80s for highs, mid to upper 80s because of all the clouds and the rain. And then Monday, we'll start to warm things back up a little bit. I'm going to drop that high, I think, to around 87 on Sunday. All right, guys, we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, we will talk tropics.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. You need quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
These big trucks are dangerous and fast. And when it comes to big truck wrecks, the stakes can be really high. That's why you need a lawyer that's gotten big results for his clients. Hi, I'm attorney Dan Newland. I've recovered billions of dollars for accident victims. So if you've been hit by one of these big trucks or involved in a car accident, call me now. Let me fight for you.
At 813-888-8000. That's 813-888-8000.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Secure outdoor equipment and generators. Clear debris from around your AC unit and schedule a pre-storm HVAC and electrical inspection.
And Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40-TODAY.
Jeopardy is for everybody.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah.
With players just like you.
Paramedic, a retired teacher, psychiatrist.
I'm a little bit competitive.
That's the spirit.
Watch their victories.
We have a giant killer.
And heartbreaks.
Oh, no.
The next super champion could be anyone.
It's almost like a superhero origin story.
It could be you.
Oh, wow.
It's all happening on Jeopardy.
Jeopardy weeknights at 7:30 right here on 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, 442. Welcome back, everyone. Let's talk tropics. Well, we are heading into Labor Day weekend, and we don't have a lot to worry about. But then the Hurricane Center hatched an area right off of Africa that we are going to watch. But again, I don't think it's anything we have to worry about. We are just about to the statistical peak, September 10th. We actually have about a week and a half or so before we get there. But, well, a little bit more than that, about 2 weeks. But you can see it's been fairly quiet so far, right? No major issues. Most of everything is recurved. But we're just really getting started, guys. I mean, in the bulk of the season, right? That's kind of, here's where we are now. And we even if you go out to here, that's the middle of October, right? So this whole bulk right in here goes all the way out through the middle of October. So I know it's been nice to have recurving storms and then kind of some quiet periods. We love that, absolutely, we love that. But I just want to caution you that the season is only just beginning. So this is a look right now at basically the remnants now of Fernan. They're not even tracking that anymore. What they are tracking is this area that you see down here, okay? And this is only a 20% chance of developing with this wave that comes off of Africa. And in fact, if you look at the satellite and radar, we're not going to be able to get to that one. I'm going to switch it over here in a minute. But we are really just looking at some waves that try and form. Like if you look at the Central Caribbean, it's empty right now, right? If you look at the Western Caribbean, we're starting to see that wave continue off towards the west, but it's really not doing much at all, right? And so we're not having much luck getting things in the Caribbean right now. There's been a lot of shear. Let's go over here to Africa with this wave that's coming off, and this is what they're talking about. But again, just not a whole lot at this particular point. I would say this wave right here looks more impressive, but this is so far south. You know, the equator's down in here. You can't get too close to the equator. You start losing the spin that they have. But that to me looks a little bit too far to the south. We'll keep an eye on it. But we'll be watching this wave coming off of Africa here and then trying to move off past the Cape Verde Islands. Again, not much going on there. So let's go to the forecast model. We've got that wave that's kind of moving through Central America, but it's just going to bounce off and head over towards the Eastern Pacific, the East Pac, okay, and then continue moving off towards the west. Remember, generally, the weaker a wave is, all right, the further west it's going to go across the deep, Caribbean, of course, but the deep tropics, right? And the stronger it is, the better chance it has to recurve. Now, remember, Aaron, Fernan, I mean, they've all done that, okay? Now, let's go out to Saturday. This is Saturday around 11 p.m. You can see not much going on. Here's a wave right here that's starting to come off. And I think it really comes off Sunday into Monday, and that's probably what they'll be watching. But we've got some moisture here. That's some of our storms that start here and go over to the east. Let's go out to Sunday afternoon into the evening hours. This is our rainy day. You can see all that moisture, but it's not necessarily tropical, right? Caribbean looks good. Look at that. Gulf, other than this, looks good. This, to be honest with you, there's a frontal boundary here, and this will be a weak low that develops, or at least tries to, and moves across the state on Sunday. So tropical characteristics, could it? It could, but it won't. I'm not worried about that at all, but it is rain coming across. Look where we're at here on Sunday. There's the Cape Verde Islands just off the side of the screen here. Let me move this over just a little bit. All right, so you see this wave here. That's what they're talking about, okay? And I really think it's by Monday, here we are on Labor Day, that we're watching this wave. All right, that's it. There's nothing else that we're really watching at this particular point. Now, where does that wave go? This is Tuesday, Wednesday. It's still over here. There's nothing. I don't see anything flaring up. You don't see anything out here either. Then we get into Thursday. Here's that wave, very weak, nothing to it, but worth watching. We're going to have some moisture kind of drift northward towards Bermuda. I don't think that's an issue either. And then as you look further out, this is taking us out to a week from this Sunday. So we're talking, what, 7, 8, 9, 10 days? 10 days away, right? And in that time period, here is that wave. This is the one that just came off of Africa this weekend. It's coming out this weekend, Sunday to Monday. Here it is by a week from that time frame. Very slow moving. And that is a little bit more of a sign that there's something there. Okay, I've been watching the AI models. The Google has been doing pretty good. I've been looking at some of the other ensembles. A lot of the ensembles do something with this, at least initially, and then try and recurve this out in time. Okay, the one good thing, remember we're talking about that this is September 7th, and we're thinking that that cool air continues up north just beyond that. That means there's a front sitting out here, and that helps protect us. So if anything does get into here, it's likely to get picked up by a front, okay? Way far out in time to be saying any of this personally, right? Or not personally, but officially, I guess, because it's just so far out. I mean, what's going to happen? Anything can change. But you can see that. I mean, look at the shear here, right? That's that trough. That's that frontal boundary here with the high pressure back behind it. And so anything coming at it's going to get sheared apart. So let's go out to Monday, Labor Day. That's Tuesday. All right, still a ton of shear. Let's go all the way out to next Sunday, and look what's happened. Look at all of that shear. Here, let me do this here so I can point it. See all this? This is all wind shear. I mean, yeah, this is where we're watching for that wave, but look, that opens the door right here. Okay, that opens the door for recurve. You got your high actually sitting over here, not here, it's over here. So that is just like what we saw with Aaron. Not quite what we saw with Fahrenheit. That was even further east, but that's very similar to what we saw with Aaron, at least that setup. So that's a week and a half out. We'll see if it happens, and of course, we'll keep you updated. Okay, guys, coming back from this break, we'll do a quick recap. We'll take another look at the forecast model for tonight, and we'll look at the radar.
I was driving when an 18-wheeler turned in front of me. I locked up my brakes, bam, slid dead into the truck. Bloody and hurt, I was loaded into an ambulance, and that's when I put out my phone and called attorney Dan Newland. Dan jumped right on it. He was in my corner the whole way. He fought the fight from beginning to end and got me $1 million.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Dan, your awesome team deserves 6 stars. Thank you for winning my case.
Weather impacts your life every day. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. You can find out about any change in the weather with our 10 Tampa Bay Plus app. Just stream for the latest forecast, any weather impact alert, updated tropics forecast, and take a live look at the radar. Anytime you want, and it's free. It's just one more way we're helping you stay informed, prepared, and connected. Stream 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
And it's like a movie script. It's family rivalry, betrayal, and murder.
They cover America's most fascinating true crime stories.
One way or another, that's an execution.
Absolutely.
Every case.
Who would want to hurt him?
Every clue.
This is dynamite for an investigator.
Every mystery that keeps you guessing until the very end.
Does everyone's jaws drop?
Dateline, 5 times a week.
Watch weekdays at 4 on 10 Tampa Bay.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
All right, just about 4:51. Take a look at this photo. This was sent to us from Connie in Ruskin, and we had a beautiful sunset. We've had a bunch of them lately once we finally started getting the sun back out. Last weekend we didn't have much, but the sky was on fire, and we love to see your pictures and I love to share them. We share them here, we share them on air, and on my social media too. Our whole team does. So we would love for you to send those in. You can send your photos if you want to text them to us. Is that 717, guys, or 727? 727-577-8522. And then on the weather computer, we also have a QR code that you can scan to do that. And we love your videos too. Somebody had actually sent this in from Clearwater Beach. This was the PD that sent this in out there from a water spout. And those things we love to see as long as you're safe. So we always ask people to send in pictures, that type of thing, but we don't want you going out and getting hurt trying to do it. And of course, if you're, that's way offshore, you're fine doing that. But the other side of that is if you do send it in when it's happening, that gives us ground truth and we know, right? Because we may see it spinning on the radar and say, well, that could be a water spout out there. And then all of a sudden somebody sends us a picture or a video and we say, oh, that is a water spout. And that's the difference between a tornado warning and not a tornado warning. Okay, giving people a heads up. This one that you see here out at Clearwater Beach, it did fall apart before moving on shore. Usually, even if they do come on shore, they tend to fall apart very quickly. But look, they could have 60, 70 mile per hour winds, even higher than that, and that can cause quite a bit of damage. So it's not, you don't shake a stick at a water spout. I don't know if that's an old saying, but you can't. All right. Let's talk radar here. We do have just a couple of showers out there. We'll recap real fast and get you on your way. We're getting ready here for 10 Tampa Bay at 5 o'clock. Not a lot of rain. You can see everything's basically moving inland. The satellite and radar with that frontal boundary on it is showing most of the rain over there on the East Coast. So for sunsets tonight, it looks fantastic. In fact, mainly clear skies at the beaches, and it's going to be a gorgeous one out there. Let's look out to the west right now. This is from our Ascent building. Or not our Ascent building, but the Ascent building in downtown St. Pete. Looking at the Trop, because actually the Trop's getting the roof going back here a little bit now. Expected to have a really nice evening out there. Sunset's just before 8 o'clock. We had our last 8 o'clock and later sunset.